Hi there, Sue Moore here, and today's question is, did you know that there are ways that life gets better as we age? Well, I'm going to share with you 6 tips today, and the reason I guess we really don't think about stuff like this is because it's not visible to the outside world. So, okay, hey Jenny, nice to have you on. Thanks for joining. You know, around the time we hit the big 4-0, life does begin to change, particularly when you begin to be called ma'am instead of miss. And I know that's kind of a big bummer. And also, remembering certain words and certain facts and can become a challenge. And then there's the age-old thing of, our appearance begins to change, particularly with our skin. And of course, there are wonderful regimens out there. I represent one that can help you with all that, but that's not what we're going to talk about today. What I want to talk about today is there are ways our life can improve, as I said, that the outside world does not see. And they have had some significant impact on my life, and I wanted to share them with you. So first, the number one thing is you get happier with yourself. The older you get, you come to the realization that you're pretty great just the way you are, okay? It doesn't mean that there aren't challenges and issues to deal with. It just means that your perspective is different because you've lived through so many things. And you realize that, you know what? There isn't anything that I haven't been able to live through all these years. So that just brings a certain amount of happiness and a certain amount of joy. So that's number one. Number two, the glass starts to look half full. And research has shown that people who are a little bit older tend to be happier than people in their 20s and their 30s because people on the other end of the spectrum have a tendency to look at and focus on things from a more positive perspective than their younger counterparts do, Number 3 is you become the expert. Love this one. Whether it's work or hobby or a sport, you've probably been there, done that, have the t-shirt, right? And you have achieved some kind of mastery in, hey Amanda, thanks for jumping on, glad to have you here. You have achieved some kind of mastery and success, whatever that is. So then you also begin to transition from being the mentee to the mentor. And the reverse is really kind of fun. You can see that with your kids. As your kids become young adults and have their own families, what have you, all of a sudden the tables just kind of get reversed. And it's just kind of a nice feeling. Hey, Cynthia, thanks for tuning in. Glad to have you here. Okay, so that was 3. So number 1, for the benefit of those who just popped in, number 1 is you're happier when you are a little bit older. Second of all, the glass starts to look half full. We just talked about you become an expert. And so now number 4 is your friendships are deeper, okay? And some of the most significant skills that we gain as we age is employing what we've learned about ourselves and how we conduct relationships. And there's an appreciation there of the loyalty of true friends. Now think about that for a minute. I'll give you an example. When I moved to Texas, gosh, I don't know how many years ago, we moved into a certain area and there was an HOA there, and all of our kids, were little bitty, and they all grew up together, and we all are aging together and so forth. But I've known these people for 30, 40, 50 years, and I was only 12. Okay, don't believe that. Anyway, you've known these people for so many years that it just they become more important to you. And when you try to get your head around the fact that we are aging and that life is continuing to go on, and there's a whole nother set of circumstances back over here, and you don't even want to go there, okay? So just friendships become deeper, and that's just something I think to be a little bit more cognizant of. So that's that. The fifth thing is you don't take anything for granted, okay? We feel as we get older that we are just more grateful. We have more gratitude for where we are in space and time, probably more so than the young and the middle-aged people do, because they're still climbing, still trying to get from where they are to where they think they need to be. And it's a scientific fact that people who are filled with gratitude for what they've already done are happier, they're more resilient, and even healthier. And so I guess the bottom line to that is, I guess it's worth a few gray hairs, you know, who knew? And then lastly, your skin can improve. Just because you're older does not mean that your skin has to look like it. As you know, I just said at the beginning, I am in the skincare business. And I can tell you how many people have said to me, gosh, I can't believe you are however old I am. And actually, I think my skin looks better now than it did when I was in my 20s or 30s, because I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. So all of that to say, however that relates to you, if you've been able to, at this age, been able to clear up your acne or are finally hydrating enough so there's more of a glow to you, with the right care, you can look and feel better. So that's it for today. Just knowing that these 6 ways can really help life get better. And I think sometimes because it's not visible to the outside world, we don't even think about those kinds of things. And then God forbid someone passes away and then you realize, oh my gosh, I've known them for so long and now they're no longer here. And it leaves kind of a, I'm sorry, that was my husband. It leaves a void. And so that's happened to me recently, and I'm not going to go into it. It's not pertinent to this conversation. But all of that to say is when we're further up on the age spectrum, we get the advantage of looking back and saying, you know, I might have not done that right, but I did this right, and I've learned, and now I'm doing this, and I can pass that along, and so forth. So all of that to say, thank you for listening. Now, a couple things. First of all, if you are open to learning a little bit more about how to take care of some of your wrinkles or whatever, I have a quiz, short quiz that you can take. It is product and company specific, but you certainly don't have to. There's no obligation for you to get things from me. I'm just more interested in you knowing what is good for you and what isn't, and so you stop spending money on products that are not going to do you any good. Hey, Lynn, nice to have you here. Thanks for watching. And then the second thing I would say is when you are purchasing products and perhaps standing in front of that wall of skincare, you want to make sure that whatever it is that you're contemplating purchasing comes with some sort of a money-back guarantee. 4 to 6 weeks is great. But when they give you a little sample and you take it home and then you decide if you like it or not, you're not going to see the full benefit of what it is that sample is sampling until you've used it for 4 to 6 weeks. So that's why it's important. If you can get a money-back guarantee, if it works for you, great. If it doesn't, you can get your money back, and you're adding to your overpromised and underdelivered drawer in the bathroom. So that's it for today. I hope you got some value, and if you did, please like and share it. And if there's something I can help you with about a money-back guarantee or the little quiz or any other subject that you can think of skincare-wise or just life in general, please feel free to message me, and I'll be happy to have a conversation with you. So that's it for now. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you the next time. In the meantime, journey well. Bye-bye.